Hello everyone, welcome back to the Divine Speaker. If you're interested in playing the game yourself, I have links in the description. We'll just jump right in. Empty dreams once again. Where are you? I blinked open my sleepy eyes and looked around my room. Such luxury, I don't think I could ever be used to it. New clothes, a fancy bed, the ball, so many new things. And sign. His chest softly rose and fell beside me, his eyes still shut tight. Just watching him made a warm feeling swell in my heart. What is this? It's love, probably. Is it because of last night?
Surely you're ready for round 2 by now?
No, I'm not ready. I haven't recovered from that scene yet. Lost in my own thoughts, I didn't notice Zarryn woke up. He leant on his elbow, smirking at me.
Maybe later. We should, we have things to do.
My words made so much sense in my head, but everything came out so jumbled. What's wrong with me? I don't usually have any trouble talking to him. I must just be embarrassed after all last night.
Boo, no fun. Well, there's always later. I don't mind playing detective a little more today.
Our clothes were strewn about the room, thrown away without a care in the world. As I dressed, I could feel Zarryn's eyes boring into me. I couldn't look him in the eye. Just, what is this feeling? We left my room, expecting to find Leos and Fawn waiting for us, but they were nowhere in sight.
Their loss. Let's just leave without them.
Shouldn't we wake them up?
Do we have to? We'll just fill them in later.
Well, I guess you're right.
Please hold. I have to open, stuff. I wonder if I messed this up earlier because I wasn't paying attention to doing the good endings for 2 of the side couples. So half paying attention to Elrond and Varys, and the other half, I can't remember if we actually did any of the choices yet. So now I'm just like, oop, oh well. We'll get there when we'll get there, hopefully. I avoided his gaze once again. It's not like I'd mind spending more time alone with Zarryn, it's just I'd hoped that the other 2 would break the tension a little. Zarryn.
Why are you treating me so coldly after I let you do that to me last night?
I'm gonna die.
I think I'm going to cry.
No, I'm not. I was just feeling a little shy, I think.
I'm just messing with you.
Please don't do this. Oh, he's already a mess. He's trying to figure out the fact that he loves you, probably. He ran his fingers over my thigh and leant up to whisper into my ear.
I like it when you act shy anyway.
Oh, please stop. It's stuff like this, like suddenly Zarryn does this, and it's just like a slap in the face, like, you love him. I'm like, I do. He's great. I love him. He pulled away with a grin, and I felt my face heating up with just a few of his words. I'm just feeling shy, that's all. What else would give me this butterflies? I don't know, Rain. Maybe you should talk to someone that isn't Zarryn about it. We turned and left through the front door, out into the cold winter landscape. Outside was the same as every other day, a snow-filled paradise. Children had already begun hurling snowballs at each other, oblivious to their surroundings.
Cute.
Kids? Cute? Ugh, more like annoying. I'm not really interested in having any.
Really? Why not?
Could you imagine me as a father? Even the thought is scary.
I think you make a great parent.
Aw.
I couldn't put anyone through that.
Through what?
It doesn't matter.
the
Anyway,
little
I'm sure you'll find a nice girl eventually, and you can have some of your own.
No! Oh, God. I got attacked by so many feelings in that one interaction already.
We're here. Look.
Okay, what I was gonna say, just it's just always like the little like drops of hints of like Sign and his home life, I guess. And it just makes me go like, what do you mean? Tell me the whole story. And then he also gives us like, you'll find a nice girl. He's like, he loves you. Sign, Rain loves you so much. What are you doing? He pointed up ahead where a building laid off to the side. A sign reads, Hone's Bakery, swinging in the wind. A group left the store carrying paper bags overflowing with bread and pastries. They giggled and chattered excitedly.
This must be it. Shall we? It's still early, but better waiting in there than out here.
I held open the door and entered after Sign. A bread. We were greeted with the smell of freshly baked bread, making our mouths water. The bakery was mostly empty, except for one customer who had stood by the counter waiting for his food to be bagged. He had a small frame and white hair with pink tips. His clothes were fancy, as to be expected, and had a beautiful flower pattern. Behind the counter, Hone finished with the customer's food, and he turned around to leave. His eyes met mine, but neither of us said a word. Big red eyes, white and innocent, in contrast to the mask that took up most of his face, dark and imposing. Who is?
Rain! Sign!
Who
You're here
was
earlier
it?
than I thought you would be.
Oh, there has to be a reason why that was so descriptive, right?
I'm sorry. I hope we're not causing too much trouble.
Not at all. Please, sit down. Did you find me easily?
We didn't have any trouble.
We all sat down at one of the tables, Hone sitting across from the two of us. We exchanged pleasantries and chatted lightly for a moment before turning to the matter at hand.
So, you really know Caspian?
He nodded, a slight smile on his face.
He's been a regular of mine for years. The tall one with the brown hair, right? I'm not surprised you're asking about him. Are you after some of his woodwork? He's a skilled carpenter, and he owns a small store not that far from here.
The Prince of Aurelia Cavella, a simple carpenter. Is this really the right guy?
Oh, now this is interesting. A carpenter? You got us. We're really in need of a new table, you know? Can you point us in the right direction?
I can, no problem.
Sign is so good. He's just like, good, cool. Whoop. Let's go. Let's make it so we're actually doing the carpenter thing. We're totally looking for a table. Suddenly the front door swung open and the three people excuse me, I got excited. Suddenly the front door swung open and three people stepped in. Two I knew well, and one I've never seen before with long pink hair.
Varys, Ilron! It's great to see you guys again. And this is?
They sat down around the table and Hone quickly stood up and flipped the sign on the door to show that they were closed.
Well, I think I'm needed in the kitchen for a moment. I'll fill you in with the details later, Rain.
Okay. He waved to the unknown man, who simply nodded. They obviously already knew each other.
Let me introduce you to a good friend of mine. I like to call him Zarryn. That's my name, you fool. Well, yeah, that's why I like to call you it. Makes sense when you think about it.
Oh my god.
Rain, I take it. And you are?
Wait, you're that Zarryn? This just keeps getting more and more interesting. The king's royal physician involved in something as scandalous as theology?
Young Lord Synaculus. How pleasant to finally meet you in person.
Uh-oh.
I suppose some introduction will be necessary. First and foremost, I'm the royal physician to His Highness, the Lord of Sidcaeum. But this position allows me certain freedoms.
I got distracted by the chest. I got distracted by the new chest. I'm already used to Elrond's chest. I'm distracted by the new one.
Freedoms to research to my heart's content. I spend most of my time attending to scholarly duties, and I consider myself an expert in theology and demonology. Of course, this is
that's why he's
heavily
helping.
frowned upon, so I expect this to be kept between us.
Sure thing, you're helping Sauron and Nox, so whatever.
Certainly. I don't intend to tell anyone.
Theology, demonology, huh?
Zarryn here has been researching demons and gods for a very long time, so we couldn't think of a single other person who may be able to help Nox and Soren more.
Quite. Normally, I wouldn't agree to something like this, but unfortunately, due to my acquaintanceship with a certain someone, I had little choice.
Okay. Elrond grinned, leaning back in his chair with his arms crossed over his chest. He's so
How's he
proud of
doing?
himself.
Has he woken up yet?
No, not yet. He's stable, but asleep. I've only begun preliminary testing, but nothing is out of the ordinary. Vitals are within healthy ranges, breathing is normal. He has no internal injuries, he's just stuck in a slumber. Could I awaken him? Possibly, but I won't try until I can find a way to separate the demon from him.
Is that even possible?
I don't want to get your hopes up. I've never seen anything like them, two beings so closely melded together at the seams. Even if I can separate them, will they ever be the same? I don't know. Not yet.
Oh, Rain.
However, all is not lost. I'm just not in the habit of pretending everything will work out when there's obvious risks. I have Zarryn in my lab, and I'll keep him there until I can ascertain the nature of their joining and find a way to separate their souls. I don't know how long it will take. I couldn't give you an estimate even if I wanted to, but they're both safe with me.
I hope that's true.
I can't thank you enough. I might not have known Soren for that long, but I wanted to save him. Turns out that wanting to save someone doesn't mean you can. So I'm entrusting him to you.
So, how do you know a demon when you see one?
There's a number of signs depending on their power. Sometimes they can have darkened eyes or fangs. Other times it's less obvious. I doubt you would encounter many demons in your social circle, young lord.
But with our social circle, though, you don't know that.
That's where you'd be mistaken. Whether they want my blood or not, there's more demons there than you can count.
Well, it's hard to argue against that. Some would say that navigating the high houses of Sidcaeum is far more lethal than any demon could ever be.
He always does that, ever since getting here, talking about the people around him in a way he's also talking about himself. Just what happened to make him so distant? Always thought he was so confident in himself. Before I could ask any other questions, the door suddenly swung open. Another person stepped in. It was a young man. It was the young man from before.
Master?
Oh.
Are you here?
I've seen this character, and I never popped into my head because I've only seen him like maybe 1 or 2 times. His eyes scanned the crowd at the table, and at seeing Zarryn, he hurried to his side. Did I say his name right? Oop. Not long after, he noticed Elrond. He jumped back as if he were a cat hissing at a dog.
You, what are you doing here? I told you to leave my master alone!
Oh, look, it's the brat. What was your name again? Titus? Can't even spend a few moments away from your precious Zarryn.
Why, you...
Titus, at ease. You know that I'm helping them with something at the moment.
But why him of all people? He's so rude and disrespectful to you. He's just a troublemaker.
Don't compliment me too much. It'll go to my head.
Elrond, Titus, let's calm down for a moment. We were just discussing Soren. You're helping to monitor him too, aren't you?
He smiled at Titus, who seemed to instantly relax. So a fan of Zarrus, but not of Elrond. Not difficult to imagine why.
That's right. He's a weird case, you know.
I know.
Allow me to make an introduction since my dear nephew has decided to cast aside his manners. This is my assistant, Titus. He'll be watching over Soren and making sure to keep him healthy while I do my research.
He nodded his head, then looked towards Sign and I.
Sign is fine.
Oh, Sign is in... son of the Countess?
Countess?
Everyone knows her. The lady of the Vermond house, nicknamed the Countess, known for...
Please tell me more!
For being ruthless. Yes, she's my mother. If that's all, I don't feel the need to discuss her right now.
Sign's eyes found the ground, his brows knitted together. Sensing the tension in the air, I tried to divert the attention to myself.
It's nice to meet you, Titus. Thanks for your help with Soren.
It's no problem. I'd do anything for my master.
Master this, master that.
Now, if we're done with talking about Soren for the moment, I'd instead speak of something else. Rain.
What?
Me?
Me? What do you mean?
I've heard a little about you from Ilran. I won't repeat the legends since I'm sure you've heard them 1,000 times before, but there hasn't been someone like you in this city for a very long time.
Oh.
A strange curse from a city thought to be a myth, a connection to the speaker himself. It's as if you were from a fairy tale. There's not a single person in this city who wouldn't climb over others' dead bodies to take you for themselves.
What?
You're a mystery, a hidden ace, a checkmate. You have to be careful.
Oh, great. I feel like I just got lore dumped on me. I'm just stupid. Maybe I haven't been paying attention to the codex, okay? I don't read. I don't read. It's the reason why sometimes I get livid with Dragon Age, because I'm like, I don't understand the situation. What is this referring to? It's part of a book. It's part of a comment. It's in the codex. I mean,
Come on. It's not that serious, is it?
it is. We haven't told them about the, like, mark on our arm or what? The healing thing. The healing thing. Wait.
The people that surround you are the exact ones I'm worried about, my lord.
What?
You know exactly what I mean.
His mother?
I won't let anyone touch him.
Zarryn nodded, but had a look of disbelief plastered to his face.
I hope you're right.
I'm pretty sure Sign can get pretty bloodthirsty if things go south. Also, we have I hope we have Fawn and Leos. they're disappeared. I hope they're still sleeping at the hotel or whatever.
Well, I've done my part. I'd say I'm free of any obligation to stick around, right?
Sure.
We'll take our leave for now. Rain, we'll come find you again soon. Even though we finished with our end of the bargain and delivered Soren to safety, there's still more for the two of us to discuss.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure.
But that's for a later time.
Okay.
There's a dark cloud over Sidcaeum, but I don't know what it means. Keep safe and be on the lookout, always. Now isn't the time to easily trust anyone.
Oh, great. Should we not trust Hone then? That dark cloud over Sidcam. We know something's coming. I can't say the word. It's gonna happen. It's destined to happen, apparently. So before they could leave, Titus pulled Varys to the side and they talked quietly for a few moments. Titus passed him a slip of paper and then let him go.
I have something to speak about with Hone. Can you take over briefly?
He looked towards Titus, who nodded proudly. Zarryn stood from our table and entered the back room where Hone was gone, as if only natural.
So you're really Sign.
Is there a problem with that?
No, I have just heard a lot about you, that's all. You're a little different to how I imagined.
And what exactly did you imagine?
Well, I thought you'd look more...
More what? Taller? More rugged? Just spit it out. More like a disgrace?
That's...
Forget it. Rain, I'll meet you outside when you're done.
Don't leave me alone!
Wait, Sign!
Wait! Holy... Oh god, he's angry. The door slammed again as Sign stormed out of the room. The door slammed behind the blonde boy who kicked at the ground in anger. Why don't people just mind their own business? Always whispering and gossiping about me as if I wasn't right in front of them. I can't even exist without being judged.
Sign?
What are you still doing here? I'm not in the mood.
We were just leaving. Is something wrong?
Everything's just perfect, thank you.
There's nothing I can do to help?
I said...
Isn't it obvious? Despite being just like his mother, he can't stand being compared to her.
Shut up! What does it have to do with you?
Sign grabbed Elrond by the collar, pulling their face close together. He smiled, only adding fuel to his anger.
Oh, it has nothing to do with me. I'm just watching on from the sidelines.
Then stay out of my business! Maybe you find it fun to poke at my misery, but I've had enough of it. I'm not her. I never want to be like her!
The smile dropped from his face and Elrond ripped out of Cyan's grip.
Good. Then stop letting random comments from people that don't matter get to you. Come on, Varys. We've got places to be.
Take care, Sign.
The two disappeared from outside the bakery. Cyan stood, thinking on Elrond's words.
Wait, sign!
The door slammed again as Cyan stormed out of the room.
I didn't mean that at all.
I'll go get him in a minute. Did you need something in particular?
I just had a few questions. You're really from Aurelia Cavella?
I am. It's deep in the forest near Stagwitch.
Near Stagwitch? That's further away than I would have expected. What an amazing discovery. How I'd love to see the town for myself. How does a civilization grow closed off completely from the outside? Surely you do things very differently to us. I need to write this all down.
He pulled out a notebook and started furiously writing, recording every word I said. Just like Zarryn, he must consider himself something of an academic.
What about you? You're from Sidcaeum?
He reached up and touched his mask, remaining silent.
No, but nothing remains in my home to go back to. It was burnt to the ground, along with a handful of other houses. People still live there, but the thing that made it my home is gone.
I scratched the back of my hand awkwardly. Oh, that's a nervous tick. Sorry, I got distracted by the realization. Oh, is that his nervous tick? Scratches the back of his hand awkwardly. That makes sense, though, I guess, right? Probably shouldn't have asked.
Oh, I need to ask where you're staying. I'll come find you in my master's place if we learn anything new about Soren.
The Silver Willows. It's not that far from here.
Nice. Got it.
He continued scribbling in his journal, making notes. I almost felt like I was being interrogated.
If you wouldn't mind, may I take a look at your markings?
No, I don't have how. I don't see why not, or I'd rather not. Oh, fuck. That's the right answer. I'm gonna save in case this ends up biting me in the ass later. Anyway, I'd rather not.
Actually, I'd, rather not.
I pulled my arm in close and glanced in the direction Zarryn went. Didn't he just tell me to be careful? Does it extend to him and Titus too? Oh, maybe.
Okay, I understand. Still, when this is all over, please let me study it.
Maybe when this is all over and I feel safe about it. Over?
You got it.
So, if I heard correctly, you're not just here to deliver Soren, are you?
If anything, with him saying that when this is all over, you should let me study it, it means that maybe things will work out. He knows something. And maybe everything will work out and nobody dies. Maybe.
I'm looking for someone very important to me. Someone that may hold answers to questions that I need to solve.
I see. Yours is quite an epic tale, isn't it? Filled with excitement and despair, curses and demons, myth and legend. I'm excited to see how the story ends. In fact, I have an offer to make you.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Just like my wonderful and perfect master, I've taken somewhat of an interest in history. You know, so much goes unrecorded and forgotten, and I'm going to do what I can to combat that. I suppose my interest more lies in the recording of present-day activities that will go down in history.
What are you asking?
Let me tell your story one day.
Sure.
My story? Of all the people that were in this room a moment ago, I think I'm probably the least interesting.
Agree to disagree then. Think on it.
Okay. What would Sign think?
I, wouldn't mind that. Actually, I'll agree if I can ask you a few questions.
Shoot, I'm an open book.
Uh-huh. Do you know Elrond?
So, you and Ilron.
Even his name disgusts me.
You don't really get along.
Who could? He's lucky that Varys stays with him, honestly. I don't know how he does it.
Did something happen between you two?
Not to me, but to my master. You know why we're helping him and risking our lives in the first place beyond curiosity? It's pretty much blackmail.
Blackmail? Sounds just like Ilron, yeah.
I looked on in interest, and Titus continued with the story.
That's what he does. Digs up information that should be left buried and uses it to his advantage. It happened a few years ago. He just turned up on our doorstep, pushed his way through the door, and made himself at home. I had a mind to call the guards and have him arrested, but Master wanted to hear what he had to say first. You should have seen his face. It went as white as a sheet, and I was ordered to leave the room.
What did he say to him?
I have no clue. No one will tell me. But ever since then, he can just waltz in whenever he wants and demand anything. If it were up to me, I'd just chuck him out anyway. Who cares if a secret or two gets out?
Yeah, that's definitely Elrond. Are you and Varys friends? I wonder, does he know Varys... oh, excuse me. Does he know Varys is a god? I guess I should mention it just in case.
Do you know much about Varys? You two seem to get along.
At my question, he perked up a little.
Varys is what I aspire to be. He's such a forward thinker, always on the foreground of the healing arts. He comes up with methods I would never even dream of. I sometimes wonder how he's accumulated so much knowledge. I'd have to live 10 of my lives just to know as much as he does.
Oh, that's why he knows. They don't know then. I'll keep quiet.
Huh. I didn't realize he considered himself a healer.
I was still young when we met, around 10 years ago. It was just after I moved to Sidcaeum and Master took me in. We only happened to bump into each other. Purely luck. I was feeling disillusioned, lost. I wondered if I'd ever be able to live up to my Master's expectations, become half the man he is. I could barely whip up a basic tonic or salve. I thought about running away and giving up. And that's when he found me, sitting alone in the streets. When I told him, he pointed out what I was doing wrong. They were such obvious mistakes. It's embarrassing. But I'll never be able to thank him enough. I wouldn't be here now without his guidance.
Was he much different then?
Probably more sad, right? Because Elrond and Varys didn't meet in... they only met 7 years ago, and this was 10 years ago.
Before... Yeah, I remember. He's always been friendly and kind. I'd even go as far as to call him selfless. But it was like he had these invisible walls all around him, both to keep people out and to stop him from growing too attached to anyone.
I thought back on the Varys I knew. Such a warm, comfortable person.
His smile reaches his eyes now.
Oh.
As much as it pains me to say it, I think the change came from Ilron.
They're married. I'm gonna be forever pissed they're married! What do you mean they're not married?
Those two are inseparable.
Won't that just make it hurt all the more when they're forced apart?
Yes. Oh no, I'm already tearing up.
Huh?
Forget it.
No. What do you mean? What's the relationship between Zarryn and Hone? Let's keep going.
Hone was quick to close the store when Zarryn came in. Does this happen often?
Often might be a little too much, but every now and then. Despite their appearances, they've actually been friends for more years than I can count.
Huh. That does seem to be an unlikely friendship.
I keep telling him that his chances at making it anything other than a friendship are getting slimmer and slimmer, but he just waves me away. Easily embarrassed, you see.
Oh. It's like that, is it?
He says it's not, but I'm not blind.
You mentioned your home.
You mentioned your home, right? Where was that?
It's a small town down south called Cliffspire. I haven't been back since the fire. But I've heard they rebuilt everything that was burnt down.
I'm sorry to hear that. How did it happen?
I was only young, but they say that a demon burnt it down as punishment. A lot of people died. I wasn't there in the aftermath, though. I was brought to Sidcam.
Gods. I'm sure that whoever... No. Whatever lit the fire got what was coming to them.
I couldn't hope for anything else.
There's one other thing.
My eyes started back to where Sign stood only a few minutes ago.
What's this Countess thing about?
Oh, hell yeah, tell me, spill the beans.
You really don't know? Wait, of course you don't. She's exactly what a noble is meant to be on the outside. Perfect manners, perfect appearance, but behind closed doors, everyone knows how ruthless she is. Cutthroat, even. People that get in her way, they go missing.
Oh. Ooh.
She has anything and anybody she wants.
What about his father?
I don't know. He's not seen publicly much.
Oh. I keep forgetting. There has to be 2 participants. Hopefully, Dad's still around, and hopefully they're a good one. Just very distant and attached. Before I could ask anything else, the door to the kitchen swung open and both Hone and Zarryn appeared. Oh, appeared. They appeared. They didn't disappear. They appeared.
Master!
I should ask about Caspian before there's any more interruptions. And I want to go find Sign.
Can I ask you more about Caspian?
Okay, I don't know if this scene is gonna stop anytime soon, but we're gonna stop here. Thank you everyone for joining me today. If you're interested in playing the game yourself, links in the description. I have a Patreon if you're interested in checking that out. Hopefully I'll see you there, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!